Hey guys! Okay, so we're back on live stream. This is my second time, so again, I may not be the greatest at this, but we're getting the hang of it for sure. I hope you guys are doing really good today. It is beautiful here. We're in the Appalachian Mountains, Shenandoah Valley area of Virginia, and Zone 6, 6B, and we're talking garden stuff, homesteading stuff, food forest stuff, permaculture, all stuff like that. So if you guys have any questions about any of that, this is the time that we like to discuss it. And basically today I'm just going to be talking about the future of our homestead, and I've got a package of bulbs that I'm going to be opening up and just kind of checking out. I've never ordered from this company before. Actually, it's Shriners Gardens. Have you guys ever ordered from Shriners? If you haven't, we'll see if you should or not. Actually, I'm going to do that right now because I've been waiting to open this for a while, and this is a good way to wait for some more people to make sure that they're able to hop on the live stream before we start talking about the really important stuff. I hope you guys are having a good day. Okay, so Shriners, they are known for their irises. They got a handy little booklet that they gave me that talks about when to plant and different pests and stuff like that, so that's cool. They had a sale and a bunch of their irises were like $5, $7 each, and usually for these specialty irises, if you're ordering them online, they can be up to like 17 to 25, even hundreds of dollars depending on whether or not it's a new variety or not. And so they were having a sale. I think the sale is still going on right now. So if you go over there, how do they pronounce their name or spell it? It's SCHREINERS, Shriners. They had some really good reviews, so we'll see. I got a few, and the nice thing is it doesn't just come with one of each variety. You get, I think, 3 for each one that you order. That's really beautiful. They've got some really good greenery on there. Do you see those roots? They are not jipping you on the roots at all. That's fabulous. Oh, this is a daylily. So I ordered a shattered glass daylily, which is bright yellow, and it's got like little frillies on the edges. My theme for the garden right outside my door here is purple and yellow. It's the purple butterfly bush behind us. This might be the other daylily then. Oh, this is excellent. Okay, so yeah, this is the other daylily. No. Yeah, okay, so this is, you've got Soul. This is kind of a lavender purple one. And a lot of daylilies, like, they're kind of pinky instead of purpley. So I was really excited to find the You've Got Soul one because that one's got a nice purplish tint. This looks like it's more than 3 in here. This is ridiculous. How wonderful is that? Okay, so already I'm excited from them because they're sending more than they needed to. That's awesome. I think I did pay like $10 for the daylilies, which still is not a lot if you're ordering specific daylilies. Okay, and then Immortality. And also, okay, so this is a white iris that I ordered. And then Get Back, which looks like that. I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's really pretty. And these are tall bearded irises, and they are reblooming irises and reblooming daylilies, and that's something that I really, and riveting. Okay, so that's something that I was really looking for, was reblooming varieties of daylilies and irises, because I've seen a lot of flowers growing in the spring and they're beautiful and then they die, and then you get to the middle of the summer and then there's kind of a drought as far as flowers go then. So it's nice to be able to have a something that's so beautiful that you see in the spring also blooming later on. I didn't even know that you could get reblooming irises or daylilies. That's new for me. I have never ordered irises or daylilies before because my mother-in-law actually has a ton of irises, and she just gives me, but it's all pretty much one variety. So I wanted to branch out and get some other ones. Hi! Hi guys! Thank you! This is a butterfly bush, and I know that a lot of people, especially if you're like in permaculture and stuff like that, you tend to get warned to stay away from butterfly bushes because they are not, they're somewhat invasive, but you can buy sterile versions of them. So this can't spread unless I took like a cutting of it or something like that. So you can get butterfly bushes that aren't going to destroy the environment. We don't need to give them a bad name. And a lot of people think, oh no, you know, butterfly bushes, they don't provide any food for the larvae of butterflies. Well, you know, plant something that does right next to it, and there you go, right? So I've got a ton of pollinator plants around here that the butterflies love to lay their eggs on, and then the larvae eat that as they hatch and everything. And so you don't have to stay away from butterfly bushes. They are so beautiful. They are so prolific as far as giving out flowers that the butterflies do love, and you can do it in a way that's ecologically responsible. So it is. Okay, so the butterfly bush is pretty large. This is, I don't know, maybe like 5 years old. But the cool thing about butterfly bushes, I'm going to do a video about this later, but that was going to be like in winter. I'm so excited to talk about this, guys. When you're pruning your butterfly bush, if it is a non-invasive species, if it's invasive, you want to cut it before it goes to seed for sure. Prune it back. But if it's a non-invasive species and you don't have to worry about the seeds getting out and hurting the environment, you want to cut it back to pretty much like a foot above the ground every year in the winter when it's completely dormant, because the flowers bloom on new growth as well as old growth, and it just makes it bushier and healthier, and it really like strengthens the roots and everything. So this is all new growth this year, but the plant itself is about 5 years old, I think. So it's beautiful though. I love it. Hi. So yeah, butterfly bushes are good. Okay, so I think we got some good people on here. I wanted to, I guess, talk about the future of the homestead that we have. Unless you guys want to shoot out some questions, I'll be answering that as you shoot them out for sure. But I'm so excited. For a long time. Hi, Violetta. Hi. So I have been doing this YouTube channel for about 4 or 5 years now, and I stopped for a few years because I was having babies and stuff like that, and dealing with a little bit of grief from some miscarriages. Not a little bit of grief, a lot of grief over that. But I was doing it basically as just a vlogging, having fun kind of stuff. Hi, Scott. Hi. And I decided that I just enjoy this so much that I'm gonna really just dive into this, and my top priority is going to be trying to make videos that you guys want, that will provide high quality for you, instead of me just like bumbling around in the garden and being like, hey, this is what I did today. So I've got a plan for the next year of good videos I hope that you guys will want to see, that will help you guys in your gardening journeys, or just things that you might be interested in. And then I will do garden vlog updates weekly as well, what we're doing in the garden, how things are going. and then we'll do live streams like this as well if we can, every weekend or every other weekend, something like that. So the first series, I just put out the first video for it yesterday, and it's a food forest series. And so we're just gonna go through all the details about what a food forest is. And so I've got 14 videos planned going over different categories of what food forest systems need, how to make it easy for you, how to make it productive for you, how to make it beautiful, everything like that. And so the first one was basically, what is a food forest, right? Because we got to start off somewhere so everybody's on the same page. But next Saturday, I've got, it's already filmed and it's ready to go up. If you're a member of the page, you're going to be able to have access to this video early. It's going to be either tomorrow or Tuesday that I'm going to release it, I think. But it's already ready to go. We're going to be talking about nitrogen fixers, because that was a big question that everybody had last time. And we're going to go into a lot of misconceptions about nitrogen fixers, because, gosh, when I first started gardening, I had no idea what I was doing. I remember my mother-in-law was out in the garden with me, and she asked where I was going to be planting the pumpkins, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to plant those in the fall because they're fall squash, so that's when you plant them, right? I mean, I had no idea what I was doing anyway, but I was out there, I was trying, I was doing it, and we learn along the way, right? And so I'm glad that I've learned a lot more since then, because I'm just addicted. I watch everything I can watch about it. I read everything I can read about all this stuff. It's an obsession for me. So what was I talking about? Oh, nitrogen fixtures. I remember people telling me advice. Hi. And it said that if you plant peas next to whatever vegetables that you're planting that take up a lot of nitrogen from the soil, the peas or the beans will feed the plant that you've planted it next to, and you'll be able to have more nutrients and nitrogen in the soil to feed the plants as they're growing, and it's this beautiful, beneficial, mutually beneficial situation. And as more research, and I actually went to college and learned a lot about sustaining. I did a big course study on sustainable agriculture and stuff like that. I got my Master Gardener's certificate. That was fun. But the peas and the beans are not feeding the plants that you have them planted next to, unlike what everybody says. So, you know, the three sisters, they talk about, you know, put the beans around the corn, and then you have the squash underneath, and the squash and the corn are heavy feeders. And so that's why the beans are good, because they feed the soil, and the beans grow up the corn. And yes, they will feed the soil in the winter, but they won't be doing it during actual growing season, because they're using that nitrogen for themselves. They are gathering the nitrogen from the air, and they're collecting it in these little nodules on their roots. And those nodules are staying intact and feeding the bean plant or the pea plant while it's growing. It's not getting released into the soil. You have to chop back that plant in order for it to get released into the soil. And not a lot of people know that. They think they can just grow it next to them, and then those plants are getting fed that are the neighbor plants, and it's not. You've got to make sure that you are, you can grow them and then chop them, and then grow them and chop them, and then that's feeding throughout the season, but it will definitely not feed unless you literally kill the plant in order to release those nodules that are on the roots. And so there's a lot of misconceptions about nitrogen fixers. How you access that nitrogen. You can't just plant it and then nitrogen will go in the soil. Now there are like 3 or 4 plants that are like that, and we'll talk about it, but anyway, that's the next video that's coming out on Saturday. I've got a crazy awesome printout that's going to go for members on that, and if you're not a member, I've got a printout for you guys too. And then the next video that's coming out after that is going to be my favorite plants for each layer of the food forest, and why I like them, why they're awesome, and it's not exhaustive because you can plant, there's like a million different plants you can plant, but these are my favorites. These are really popular ones as well that a lot of other people like. And so anyway, so just a bunch of stuff. The one after that, we're going to be talking about disease-resistant fruit trees, because you don't want to have to spray all the time, right? Oh yeah, absolutely. Definitely apply compost for nitrogen. If you put the compost in the spring, and then you can kind of fill it in around plants that are going to need more of it throughout the season, you can. What I really like to do is I like to take all the chicken litter that we have from our chicken coop, and our chickens are at the top of a hill. Everything's on a hill on my property. Everything is hilly. Oh my goodness. But they kind of scratch away all the grass where their enclosure is, even though we've given them a huge enclosure. They scratch away the grass, and it gets to be really slick when it rains. But all that good poo when it rains, it all just kind of gets swept down to the bottom of the hill there, and it collects, and we've got kind of a thing that collects it down there. And I'm gonna be putting all that stuff, including some old moldy leaf litter that gathers at the bottom too, into my garden beds in the fall. So late fall here, and then over the winter it can kind of compost and everything like that in those garden beds. Excuse me. Excuse me. And so then it'll be ready for spring, and that gives me one less job that I have to do in the spring. So yeah, that's the compost thing. Oh, and then, okay, so disease-resistant plants and berry bushes and things like that, because if you can plant fruit trees that you don't have to spray as much, that would be the ideal, right? And you don't want to plant something that's you're just gonna have to fight against diseases or pests or whatever constantly. The whole point of a food forest or growing your own food is so that it's hopefully not only are you getting really good, healthy, organic food for yourself and your family, you don't have to worry about it, but that we can try to make this as low maintenance as possible. Okay, and then I'm actually going to do 2 videos on that because there's so many things that we want to talk about with that. We're going to talk about water features and rain harvesting, so you don't have to water your food forest as often, if at all. I haven't watered my food forest in 6 years. 6 years. So if you want to be able to do that, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about pests and the predators that and how to bring those predators into your garden and your food forest. How to make a beautiful food forest. I see a lot of food forests that are just really kind of I love a wild garden. I really do. I really, really do. But they are so wild looking that it just kind of looks like a mess. And I like a wild garden, like a secret garden. Like you walk in and you don't know what's going around the bend, and it's just like full and lush and overflowing. And that's personally my style. And so if you guys like stuff like that, a beautiful food forest, not just a functional food forest, we're going to have a whole video on that. Allies that you can bring in, wildlife allies like goldfinch and sparrows and stuff like that. Snakes, sorry guys, snakes are really important for your food forest. If you have seen my videos of dealing with voles, snakes are really important. You want the good snakes, not the bad snakes. Things like black snakes and milk snakes, you want those in your garden as much as possible. And if you have those, you won't have the venomous ones if you live in an area that has venomous snakes, because the black snakes actually they're immune to the venom of the poisonous snakes, which is awesome. And they hunt them. They like to eat them. That's one of their prey. And so if you have some good resident black snakes, you can be almost sure that you're not going to have the poisonous snakes, and they will keep your vole population down and your bunny population down, which sounds so harsh now that I'm thinking about it, but it's nature. It's nature. You're just inviting a healthy ecological system into your food forest, right? I don't even know what that is. I'm so sorry, Stromboni. I'm sorry. Beauty and function. Yes. Yes. I would love to show you the garden. Okay, I can show you the garden that is right outside my house right here, but we are so out in the boondocks that my food forest, I can't show it to you live because our internet doesn't reach that far and I don't have cell service out there. And I wanted to do a live in the food forest. And I had this great idea, oh, I'm gonna do that. And it didn't hit me until later that I can't do that because we have no cell service or anything like that. But let me show you some of the garden around us right here. So I love my garden. I like to show this off. So we've got this beautiful butterfly bush right here, and you can see there's already there's always butterflies on this. And behind it, I don't know if you can see, there's another bush behind here. This is the Nanking cherry, and this is my first experience growing Nanking cherries. I mean, I've been growing them for about 3 to 4 years, but this is the first time that a Nanking cherry has been mature on my property, and I love it so much. It is such a great privacy fence. It's such a great filler for a shrubbery layer, and the Nanking cherries that we got off of it this year were delicious. They were so good. My toddler would race out in the morning to get as many of the Nanking cherries that had ripened that day as possible before his sisters or brothers could do it. And so here's another Nanking cherry. I want to plant them close to each other as much as possible so that we can get cross-pollination. And I'm trying to block that, the oil can there. What do they call that? I forget. Anyway, that's where we get our gas for our stove and everything like that. And so I've got 2 more Nankings in between my clematis trellises. I guess you'd call them a trellis. I don't know. But we've Stephen King's daughter? No. This is not an AR garden. No way. No, here. It's beautiful. It's lovely. It's really good stuff. Thank you for thinking it's pretty enough for that, though. It is not an AI garden. So let's see. So we've got the clematis, and you can see, I mean, they're brown and dying. It's definitely not. Anyway, we've got catmint right here that kind of grows up a lot bigger. I just cut it back so that it would be ready for fall, and it's rejuvenating a little bit. So we've got 4 Nanking cherries and then 3 clematis. So we've got some hydrangea right here and some more catmint. This is a beautyberry bush, this purpley thing right here. And it's got these really gorgeous berries that are just starting to ripen, and they end up being like this really lavender pink, beautiful color. And a hibiscus. There's lavender, obviously. And then the creeping jenny is like one of my favorite things. I've planted the creeping jenny on the ground in the gravel here a lot because I'd like for the creeping jenny to spread out and go around these really big stepping stones that we have on the ground here. So yeah, so this is just, I haven't weeded this in a while, and I'm having a hard time weeding it because most of the time I'm carrying my daughter in a carrier on my back, and she doesn't like it when I bend over. And so I'm having a hard time getting in and getting some of this switchgrass out of here. But it's dying down for the season anyway. So thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. It is definitely overflowing and abundant, and I love it. We have a plum tree and then an apple tree behind it here. I don't know if you can see. And then grapevines. These are all just kind of pretty flowers that bloom throughout the year. I'm going to be trying to add to that as much as possible. The trellis has got clematis on it as well. And then coming over here, I tried to mirror on this side everything that I've got going on that side, so it's kind of a redundancy, and the eye likes redundancy. And this is a Forsythia suspensa, which is not the Forsythia chinesis, which is the one that you see kind of invading everywhere. This one, it definitely spreads and grows, but it's not as invasive as the Chinese one, and it's medicinal, and so it helps with things like bronchial infections and stuff like that. I got that during the pandemic time because I wanted to make sure that we had some good medicine on hand for that. That was natural if we needed it. This is a weeping plum that you can't tell is weeping because it's going straight up, but it will eventually start weeping. And around it we've got lilac bushes and another Nanking cherry. Let's see, we've got some service berries bushes that are just coming up. I just planted those. Some rose bushes. This is oh my goodness, I just did a video on this. Oh, a crepe myrtle, thank you. Oh my goodness, I can't think. And then a lavender hedge along the edge here, along with some more lilac and some more crepe myrtle. There's a fig growing right here. And then this is something that I think is really fun. It is a weeping pussy willow, and that started off really small. It's growing pretty good now. Things are just kind of dying back a little bit though, because you know it's going to be the end of the season. I have a lot of my vegetables growing in, yes, my cat is always, Sawyer is always around. Actually, my husband just took a walk with the baby right now, and the Sawyer is following him now. I have all my annuals in the garden beds out here just because it's right next to the front door, and I haven't been using my annual garden as much since giving birth because it's kind of a mess right now. And so anything that needed to be picked every day or frequently or something like that, I would put in my pots right out here so that it's close by and I can kind of see when it needs to be picked, and it's easy for me and I don't have to go walk a really far away. Let's see if I can get this back where it was. Anyway, so that's pretty much the garden that I've got here. It's got a purple, yellow, white, silvery foliage theme. It's the only garden I have that has a theme other than the food forest. So, hi, I'm glad you're back. Yes, so yeah, it's been quite a progression over 6 years. I can't believe that it's been 6 years since planning all this. I just started a new garden behind the house because eventually we're going to renovate the house, and my bedroom will be on this back end here, and I want to create kind of like a window wall. And there's a weeping cherry back there, and I just planted a bunch of peonies, and I've got a bunch of bulbs, almost 2,000 bulbs coming this fall, and it's not just bulbs but rootstock as well, and they're going to be a big thing that I do this fall so that I don't have to do as much planting next year, and I can just really focus on the food forest and the annual garden and get those back in working order after taking a hiatus with the pregnancies and stuff like that. So hi. So yeah, that's I wanted to order enough bulbs that I could have blooms that are just exploding throughout the garden out here and then behind the house, not just in the spring or the late spring or early summer, but in the late fall and the early fall and the late summer as well. The wind took my paper. Okay, getting back on track. Sorry guys. So after the food forest series, we're going to talk about, oh, also there's a whole bunch of them. There's 14 videos. I'm pretty excited about this. how to make sure that you have a continuous harvest of food in your food forest all year long. If not, you know, we're not going to probably be able to have food coming out of it in January, but as much as possible. So early spring to late fall is what we're looking for, is having a harvest there. So if you have kids or you like fruit yourself or food, you can go out anytime you want and there's going to be something that you can eat. So that's one of the videos. Anyway, yes, all of my fruit trees are mature at this point because I started this garden, the food forest. I started the food forest 6 years ago on accident. That's how easy a food forest is, guys. You can start a food forest by accident. I had been watching Jeff Lawton videos. If you don't know who Jeff Lawton is, he's basically him and his mentor. Oh gosh, I know his name. Why can't I think of his name right now? I'll think of it in a second. His mentor is basically the father of food forests, and the food forest, my son is watering plants and it's really cute. The father of the food forest movement that's been going around lately. And so I accidentally started a food forest because I was at Walmart and I think she was an angel. I honestly think she was an angel. She changed my life completely. There's this lady, and it was like 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. I had just gotten off work. I was teaching karate. I was a chief instructor, and I ended up actually buying the studio and owning the studio for a while. But I was a chief instructor at the karate studio at that point. And so classes usually get out late. And I was at Walmart picking up some stuff before going home, and I stopped in the garden center because I'm obsessed with gardens. And she saw these fruit trees, and I had never planted a fruit tree. I'd never even thought that. In my mind, fruit trees were difficult, and so I didn't want to plant them. I also hadn't lived in an area that had room for fruit trees, but at that point we had just moved out to the big family homestead property as a family, and they were on sale, like super cheap. I think they were like $10 each for these fruit trees. And this lady was so excited, and she was going through all of them, and she was gathering the ones that she thought she wanted. And I kind of caught her excitement, and so I grabbed a peach tree and I bought it and I brought it home, and I was like, you know, what's the worst that could happen? I spent $10, right? And then my mother-in-law was excited that I got the peach tree because they had a couple of fruit trees, and one of their peach trees had just recently fallen over from a storm or something like that. And so I planted the peach tree, and I was like, well, that was easy. So I went back to Walmart, and there was this big empty area next to my garden, just a big open space that was on a hill that nobody was using. And so I went back and I bought like 12 fruit trees, because in my mind I was like, you know, in 10 years I'll regret not planting more if I don't plant more, but I'll not regret planting too many ever. It's just easy to take it out if I need to. So I got 10 fruit trees and I planted them, and I mulched around them. And then I was looking at these big circles of mulch around the fruit trees, and I thought, why don't I plant something in the mulch? Because it's there, it's good soil building up now, so why don't I plant something in there? And then I was thinking about Jeff Lawton, and I thought, you know, well, I'll plant a nitrogen fixer, and I'll plant something that brings in pollinators, and I'll bring something that kind of adds to the beauty of it, and I'll plant something that kind of dissuades pests from coming. And so I wasn't thinking I'm going to plant a guild around these fruit trees. I was just thinking, let me just plant something around each of these fruit trees that will help it. And then I started researching which ones would be better and which ones would be the best to plant, which ones go together. And I started purposely started planting guilds, and I planted more and more, and the mulch circles around the trees got bigger and bigger, and they started connecting. And then my dad got diagnosed with cancer, and it was stage 4 already, and I knew that I was in love with this idea, this passion project of the food forest. I knew it, and I knew I was going to be doing this forever. It sung to my soul. And so I got super driven to finish the layout and the major plantings of this food forest as soon as possible, because my dad was coming to visit in like a month, and the doctors had said he had like 6 to 12 months to live, and I didn't know if he was going to be able to make it again up here. And so for a month I just toiled. I mean, I must have brought in 24 trailer loads full of mulch that I hand shoveled in, and then I hand shoveled out into wheelbarrows, and then hand shoveled out into the food forest again, and just layered this whole hillside with mulch. I ordered all these berry bushes and these vines and all these plants that I wanted to plant, and I knew I would want in the food forest, because my whole driving force was, when my dad visits, I want him to have seen the food forest and not to have been told about it. I want to know that this is a place that my dad visited, and not I wish that he had seen this. And so I was like a mad woman that month, and in a month I created this food forest, and it started off accidentally. I fell in love. The dad thing happened. I'm so glad that I did that, because he didn't have 6 to 12 months, he had 2. And so he came up in a month, and he saw it, and he thought it was the coolest thing. He loved stuff like that. He was a science teacher, and he did botany courses sometimes, and for his schools, and he did gardening classes sometimes for his schools even. He loved growing plants. He would rescue plants that he thought were in need of rescuing, and raise them up in his classroom. And anyway, he saw it, and he got to visit and walk around, and I got to show him all the things and tell him all the plans, and it was cool. I'm glad that happened, because it was not long after that he didn't get to visit anymore. So, hi. Okay, sorry, food forest. Anyway, you can, it's so easy that you can do it by accident. Okay, so the next series that we're going to do after the food forest series is a herbal medicine and apothecary series. And so I'm going to teach you all the different types of herbal medicines that you can make from things that you grow in your garden, how to procure all the plants and the plant parts that you'll need, and how to make salves and tinctures and tonics and oxymels and stuff like that. And I'm really excited about that, because that's going to be like winter time, and so there's not a whole lot going on in the garden then, but we can be using the stuff that we got from the garden then. And so that's going to be a big series. There's 12 videos I'm going to do in that, and then we're going to do after that another 12 videos all about cottage gardens and designs and stuff like that. And we're probably those will be 1 video a week on those series, and then in between those videos I'm going to be doing gardening vlogs of what we're doing in the garden in the food forest, and keeping you guys up to date on that. And then we'll do live sessions like this, and we can talk about stuff. So I talked a lot there, sorry guys. Okay, so yeah, the fruit trees that I have are all mature, although those 10 trees that I planted, I didn't stop at that. I figured, I got this fear in my mind that what happens if I didn't know what I was doing and I planted them wrong, or something happened, and so I might need to replace some of those trees, and I wouldn't want to replace them after they became mature and I realized that they weren't doing well. I wanted to have replacements already in place. So I bought a lot of fruit trees every year. I planted them for like the first 3 or 4 years of the food forest, I planted more and more fruit trees. We have 100 fruit trees now. So there is a second orchard that has about 20 fruit trees in it. And then everything else is in the food forest or right outside my house right here. So there's a lot. Skills in the kitchen. First of all, wait, let me see what they said about my dad. Yeah, he was amazing. He was amazing. My mom calls him an alien, right? So, because he was just out of this world awesome. He was proud. And that's a big deal for me. That's a really big deal. Skills in the kitchen. I love to cook. I don't have a whole lot of time for it right now with the baby and the toddler, but we did a whole bunch of pre-made meals for my pregnancy so that after pregnancy I would be able to just pop stuff in the oven really easily. Pre-made stuff and homemade pre-made stuff. And that has been a help. So if you guys can do batch cooking and like get a bunch of stuff made so that you can just stick it in the oven later, even if it's just like grilling up your meat, not grilling up your meat, but if you've got like ground beef or something, cooking that ground beef and then freezing that by the pound, then you have it ready. It's a lot easier because I know that as gardeners we want to stay all day in the garden and then we come in and we're like, oh my goodness, we got to cook. So that just makes things easier. But yes, I like to cook. I really like yummy food. So it's not always health-based. Sometimes I'll just see recipes and they look delicious and they're probably horrible for me, but they look delicious. So that's what we make. So yeah, there's that. And we haven't had a whole lot of food from the annual garden this year just because I haven't done much in the annual garden because of the baby. So next year I'm going to cover all that garden with black tarp so all the weeds can get pushed back and composted into the soil, and then I'll be able to start planting into the black tarp area, and that will keep back the weeds and save on time, or I'll just let it just compost for a whole season, and then the year after that, once my baby is like, I think she'll be 2 at that point and able to kind of take care of herself when she's around me, like she can toddle around and play with her toys and I can be out in the garden more, and I don't have to be holding her the whole time. So that will be not next summer, but the summer after that. So that's what I'm thinking in my mind. Do I teach my children about gardening? I do. Do they want to know? No, they don't. They are not interested at all. My toddler, he will happily water the garden. He will happily spray the hose at me sometimes too. But other than that, and he'll happily go out into the garden. Well, all of them will go out into the food forest and eat all the berries. And I try to teach them as much as I can while we're out there. I'm not sure how much they remember, but I do know that when we're at people's houses and we're visiting or something and they see wood sorrel in the grass, they'll eat it and they'll show their friends and be like, oh, look at this is sour grass, you can eat this. And so they really like, hi. They really like eating the food. But they're not really into the whole weeding or planting or anything like that. And they roll their eyes every time stuff comes in the mail that I ordered, or I have to go out and work in the garden. They roll their eyes at me. I'm hoping one of them will. This last baby that I had, she's my 5th and my last. And she was born right around the last frost date in the spring, and so I call her my garden baby, and so I'm hoping that maybe she'll be the one that really enjoys gardening with me. We'll see. I hope. They are kids, so maybe when they get a little bit older and they start being interested in stuff outside of just playing, maybe they'll be interested in that. So thank you, I appreciate that. Oh, it's going good. Guys, this is so much fun. I love talking with you about food forest stuff, about gardening stuff. It's the best when you guys do questions and we can like have a conversation, because it's great to find a community of people who enjoy things that you are enjoy as well, and discuss them, and it just feeds the soul. Feeds my soul, at least. I'm usually like on a high after I get done doing a video, or you should see me after the last live stream, the first one that I did. I was just like going around to my husband, this was so exciting, it was the best, it was the absolute best, I can't believe it, we need to do this all the time. And so I'm really loving the live streams. I hope you guys are. I hope they have good memories of the berry days. Oh, yes, you got to be kind of strong. I think gardening has got to be like the best workout ever. There has been studies done that if you want to extend your life, be a gardener, because not only are you getting your hands into that soil, or your feet, you know, as you're walking, hopefully barefoot through your garden. If you can't walk barefoot through your garden, there's something wrong, I think. So as you're getting your grounding, and you're digging your hands in, all that beneficial bacteria is getting absorbed in yours. And they've done studies. The oxytocin boost is crazy when you garden. It's just beautiful. Like we're in the sunshine, you're getting all that vitamin D, and then you got to lift all the mulch bags, and you've got to, you know, dig the holes, and you've got to move the rocks, and you've got to build the stuff, and it's move the wheelbarrows. It's really, really good. And I've seen a lot of people, health and lifestyle people, saying, you know, if you want to live a really long life, garden as long as you can. So that might just be baby weight. I don't know how strong I am right now. I am definitely postpartum. So it might just be baby weight that makes my arms look really big right now. Yeah, that's been hard. Doing videos right now. I wanted to wait longer, and I just was like, you know, I'm just gonna do it. I am heavier than I normally am, and it's a little bit embarrassing, but and I've got like this mark on my face that came from being pregnant that anyway, if I wear makeup I can cover it up, and but it makes me look, anyway. So I definitely just decided, you know what, I don't care. As long as my husband thinks that I'm beautiful, I'm gonna make videos about things that I love, and hopefully be able to share skills with you guys if you love doing that kind of stuff too, so that you guys can do the stuff that you love as well. So, well, I appreciate that. It's supposed to be a compliment. Thank you. I used to teach karate. Yeah, I did karate for 25 years. 25 years. I think maybe 20 years. But I fell in love with that as well. And yeah, I fell in love with the teaching aspect of it as well. I mean, I love doing the karate part, but I became an instructor, and I really enjoyed that. I love working with kids, and I guess that's kind of this video thing too that I do, is I just like teaching a lot. And I guess I got that from my daddy. He was a teacher. But yeah, I got pretty good at it. I ended up getting my 5th degree black belt before I stopped, and I just became a full-time stay-at-home mom, homeschooling and doing the gardening and stuff like that. I am not in high school anymore. Oh, thanks. Thank you. They are such a blessing. My goodness. 5 too. They're like, the best thing that I ever did was have kids, and the more the merrier for sure. So yeah, we had twins, and then we had another one really quickly after that. Didn't know that it could happen that quickly, and so I think we were a little bit shell-shocked for a little bit, but then as they got a little bit older, we decided that 3 was not enough, and our family wasn't complete again. I actually like had a vision of my youngest in my mind. I think God put it there, and I knew that I was going to have her at some point, and so we had my son, and I knew that I knew that we were going to have this little girl, And so the next baby I had was her, and it was exactly, she's exactly what I envisioned. She's exactly the girl from my vision. And so I know that we're completely, I know that we're complete. So that's really cool, and it's the best blessing of my life. And you can't take anything with you, right, at the end of life, but the only thing that you could possibly bring with you to heaven is your family, right? Your friends, your children. And I hope once we get up there, I hope that there's a gardening position open, because I would like to do that. I would love to be a gardener. Can you imagine being a gardener up there and then not having weeds or pests or diseases or anything like that? That's the ultimate dream right there. Grandma, I'm not a grandma. No, I'm just a mom. So, yeah, I guess we're getting close to the end of this. If there's anybody has any other questions, this would be great. Been married 33 years. That's awesome. Oh, wow. Yeah, that is difficult. That is really, really difficult. Yeah, for both of you, definitely. Oh, you married your sweetheart. Oh my goodness. I am a sucker for love stories like that. What do you do to be a keeper? I don't know. I don't think I understand the question. I think treat your spouse like they're the all and everything. Like you are in love with them. Tell yourself you're in love with them all the time. Act like you're in love with them all the time. And when you don't feel like it, you will feel like it then. And I think that's the answer to that. I think that's what you're asking. How do you keep the love alive? I don't know. Act like you're in love with them, even if you're not at that moment. And it works for me. Yeah, our marriage has just gotten better and better. We've been married 16 years now. So yeah, it's just gotten better and better. Show your love, not just say, yes, show it. Do the little things. Listen to what they're saying when they're just talking to themselves or mentioning little things, and act on those things. And if they say, man, this coffee is really good, make sure that's the coffee that you get from then on, or something like that. Show that love. And yeah, like right now, he's like all over helping with this channel. I put up some shorts with him in it, and one of them is hilarious. He was chopping wood, and I was just standing there fanning myself, basically watching him, because my goodness, he's a lovely man. And then I got an idea for a video, and I did it. It was really fun. So if you guys check out the shorts, definitely check that one out of him chopping wood, because it's hilarious and wonderful, and it shows his personality so well. He's such a goof. He's tender, he's kind, he's strong and hardworking, and anyway. And then I did a couple other shorts that kind of focused on him. His name's Jeremy. And hey, from Texas. That's awesome. Texas, that's a great place to grow stuff. He's really good at knowing stuff about like snakes and wildlife and things like that. He grew up in the woods. And so he did a couple of videos talking about the snakes that are in the area, the ones that we really like in our garden. And then he did one on fixing the lawnmower, because the blade stopped working, and he was like, hey, I figured this out. Do you want this? So I did a video on that anyway. And yes, serve one another, definitely. Yeah. I think a lot of people say things like, if you are in a marriage, it's got to be like 50-50, and I think that's completely wrong. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. It can't be 50-50. I think that you need to give your 100% all the time. So it's 100 from you, 100% from you, 100% from them. And if you're having an off day, maybe it ends up only being 80% or something like that. But you both bring your 100% to it, and you take care of each other the best that you can. And then also, don't expect stuff from them. I think that's a big deal. Not expecting them to fulfill you, That's not their role. Their role is not to fulfill you. Your role is to serve them and to help them and love them. And then if they have a similar role, they're going to be, or similar mindset, which hopefully you guys do because you married each other, right? So then if they have that similar mindset, then they will end up serving you and loving you and caring for you. But you shouldn't expect it from them. And so I think when we expect stuff, it leaves a lot of room for disappointment because we expect things differently than maybe somebody else would deliver. But if we don't expect and all we want to do is just serve with no expectations in return, then we can have room to be incredibly blessed by whatever they do. And they'll want to do things for you too because you're pouring your heart out to them. And so it's hard not to respond to somebody who's pouring out their heart to you that you've already got, some love for and hopefully a crush on because, I mean, you married each other, right? So at some point you were attracted to each other. I hope that's still the case. So that would be my idea of how to keep love alive and also keeping God at the center of it. Definitely keeping God at the center. I hope. God, that's like the biggest thing is, are your kids going to see how much you love each other and see how much you love them? I screw up all the time, parenting all the time, and in my marriage too, and in the garden too, all the time. But I hope that they see how much that we love them and we're trying and the effort, and I hope we can just do our best, right? So, yeah. Any oh, sorry. Food, drink, and sleep. Yes. It is a rule in our house. Like, you can wake up me in the morning. I'm kind of a morning person, but if Daddy's still sleeping, you let him sleep. You let him sleep. Do not wake up Daddy if he's sleeping. And that's not something that he's like determined. He's constantly telling me it's okay if they wake me up, Ruth, but I like to give that to him as much as possible. You sleep as long as you can. I don't need it as much because I'm kind of a morning person. He is not a morning person at all. He is a early afternoon coffee person. And I mean, he goes to work in the morning and everything like that. But he's not his chipper normal self until later in the day for sure. I guess opposites attract, right? So, yeah. So, and I wanted to tell you guys, one of the reasons that we're definitely trying to get this channel organized, and I'm trying to produce these videos that have like a lot of knowledge and value to you guys, hopefully, that if you can subscribe, become a member if you can, that'd be great. I've got lots of stuff that you can have as a member. But the whole point is my husband works these really crazy hours and he's never home. And so like my dream and his dream is to homestead together. And we haven't been able to do that. It's mostly been me doing it. And with the 5 kids, it's going to be a lot. And his mother and his father are incredible and they homestead with us. But they're getting a little bit older, and I'm sure that they'd like to take a break. And so I guess I'm hoping that maybe this channel can take off enough where it can kind of help out and maybe get my husband home more often. And so that's a really big goal for me. I'd like for him to be able to be home more often. And so I'm going to put everything I've got into this. If you guys have any video requests, let me know. I'm always looking for new things to make content about. And I mean, I've got these 3 series coming out, but there's multiple things that can happen in between the series as well. So thank you. I really appreciate that, guys. I really appreciate that. It's highly encouraging. So guys, if you have ideas on what you want to hear about, let me know. I'm super excited about these series coming up and the videos that are going to be coming out very soon. I love the conversation you guys are having in the chat room. This is awesome. It is okay to disagree on things, yes, 100%. And it's okay to show that to your kids too. It's really important to have disagreements in front of your kids, respectful disagreements in front of your kids, so they can see how conflict is resolved. I think that's so important. So thank you. Thank you so much. God bless to you guys too. I've got to go. We've reached an hour, and I've got to get dinner on the table. We're having breakfast for dinner, so pretty excited about that, especially the hash browns, because I love potatoes. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. See you soon, and make sure you guys subscribe so you can see when those new videos are coming out. They're going to be awesome. And hopefully next Saturday or Sunday, next Sunday, we'll be able to do another live stream. This is feeding my soul. So I appreciate you guys so much for being here. I appreciate talking with you guys. And have a wonderful, wonderful day, and stay blessed.